So this morning I am out on my deck. This is where I have a really big patch of lettuces that I use as cut and come again. I also planted up some Brussels sprouts right here and they are doing pretty well. So I just plant my lettuces really close together and I use them as, like I said, cut and come again. So you just cut them close to the base and then they grow back from that base pretty quickly, especially this time of year. So I usually start by filling up my lettuce keeper. I actually think that I need to get another one of these, as much salad as my husband's been eating lately. But I filled up my lettuce keeper, and then I also filled up a Ziploc baggie as well with all this lettuce. My husband will take an entire Ziploc baggie with him to work and eat salads while he's at work. But the lettuce keeper that I have can keep the lettuce fresh for, I've had it stay fresh for over 3 weeks, and it never lasts that long. I also keep spinach and kale in another one of my lettuce keepers. They're incredible. Okay, everybody, so I'm not even sure if you can see me. I'm out here on my deck. I am putting my shoes on and I'm headed back outside. It's the next day. I think yesterday morning, I started this vlog by showing you my lettuce patch, and showing you all the different kinds of lettuces that I'm growing in there. Lettuce is a cold crop, and so once temperatures hit between 80 and 85 degrees, lettuce wants to go to seed. So I want to prevent that from happening. That way I can have lettuce harvests a little bit further into the summer. Where I have my lettuce patch, it doesn't start getting a whole lot of sun till 1 or 2 in the day. I think I can extend my lettuce growing season by doing this. So let me show you what I did. Got the deck all situated for the summertime. Gotta finish blowing up the pool toys, but we got one thing blown up. Oh, this blew off. That's not good. That's not gonna work. Okay, so this is a shade cloth. I think it's 55%, but I've got these little summer things here. I don't know what you would call them, decorations from like the Dollar Tree. And then I put these wooden stakes in the front, and I'm just kind of draping. So I've got 3 of the wooden stakes. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then I think I've got about 5 of the decorations here along the back. So it's kind of like that. So hopefully this blocks enough sun. It's covering the Brussels sprouts as well right there. So I've got regular Brussels sprouts, and then I've got purple Brussels sprouts, and then I've got all my lettuce hiding underneath of here. But I just harvested it, and it's like, it doesn't even look like I harvested anything already. It's crazy. Right here you can see where I harvested this little clump, but I may have to get something even stronger than 55%. They have it in like 70%, they have it in 90%. I may get one that's a little bit stronger than this, 70, 75%.
All right, next on the agenda today is I'm going to plant my bleeding hearts. So there's a nice shaded area right there. That's where I'm gonna put them.
That was a lie. I decided that there was like this little spot right here that was already kind of bare. So this is where I'm digging the holes. So I live on the top of a mountain, which is basically a rock. And so when I have to dig a fresh hole for a new plant, I use a digger or a digging bar. It's a weighted digging bar. I'm not sure how heavy this one is. It's probably about 20 pounds. It's heavy. I was sore for like 2 days after doing this, but... So this is sort of the process. I use the digging bar to kind of break up the soil in the rock, and then I shovel it out. And I really had to make these holes pretty wide and pretty deep because it was such a large chunk of rock that I was trying to break up, and I really wanted to give the roots a fighting chance. So normally when you're planting something, you want to make the hole twice as big as the root ball. And for these, I probably made it about 3 times as big as the root ball.
Okay, y'all. Oh my gosh. Look at that pile of rocks. And that's not all of them. There's still some. There's some right here too. But I got one of them planted. Now, I think I got a clip of me digging the hole, and I forget what this bar thing's called, but it's like quite heavy and it helps break up the rocks. This might not have been the best place to put this. I'm gonna put another one right there beside it. It's like a patch of nothing. I've got some of the crocuses that come up right along here. I was gonna plant it further up, but I don't know. I just thought this was a nice spot, but now I'm like thinking, this took me probably 45 minutes to an hour, but it had to be done. The starting hole that you place your plants in has got to be done well. You can't just, I mean, for some things, you really want to give them the chance to establish themselves, and my bleeding heart is not going to get established in a rock. So I had to remove a lot of rocks to create a big enough hole so that it gets going. It has, you know, a chance for the roots to spread out. I'm hoping that, you know, from what I read, I think that bleeding hearts do well in like poor conditions, and they like the shade, and this place stays shaded pretty much all day long. I don't think it gets hardly any sun. I don't have any trees to plant my bleeding heart under. Okay, so I'm gonna get myself a nice cold popsicle, and then I'm going to get to digging through rocks to plant the other one, because I've got 2. It came in a bag from Walmart, 2 bleeding hearts, and they both sprouted, so I gotta get them in the ground. Alrighty, so second hole is dug. There's the pile of rocks out of that hole. And I forgot to mention that as I'm digging, as I'm filling the hole back up, I'm gonna put the plant in, and then I'm using the soil that I dug out of the hole and picked most of the rocks out of. But I'm also adding and mixing in compost, because bleeding hearts like loomy, kind of sandy, but really rich soil. And this is definitely loomy and sandy, but it needs a little bit of compost in it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking handfuls of that, and again, picking out rocks as I see them, try to give the roots a fighting chance. And then I'm just going to place the bleeding heart and then fill around. The bleeding heart is in peat moss and vermiculite or perlite. And it's very loose. It's kind of like falling apart. Putting it in here. Yeah, see, I just exposed everything. Dang it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna keep filling this up. So, I'm not sure if I showed you where exactly I'm at. I'm to the right side here. There's like a little gravel pathway with my big old green giant trees beside me. And then this is the fence between mine and my neighbor's house. But I've got both of the bleeding hearts planted. There's one and there's one. They're mulched. They're watered in really well. I each gave them an entire drink, one each watering jug here. Well, that was hard to get out. And we'll see how these do in this spot. I have tried to plant bleeding hearts once before, many years ago. It's probably been over 10 years after I killed the original ones that were on the property, because we cut down some trees, and if you don't know, bleeding hearts like shade. They don't like sun. When we cut down the trees, they were in full sun, and of course they died. So these are in pretty much, it's very well shaded. So I'm hoping they do okay, but as much rocks as I had to dig out of here, I just don't know if they'll like where they're at. But that literally took probably an hour per plant to do, and I'm pooped. So I've got some other stuff I got to do inside the house, and I'm hungry, and I need to feed the chickens some scratch and some other little odds and ends. So I'm going to end this video. I was going to try to plant my dahlias. That's going to have to wait till next week, because today's Sunday and I work tomorrow. Usually when I get home from work, I don't want to do anything. So I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So those 3 days, I don't get a whole lot of like gardening stuff done besides walking around and admiring it. So I'm going to get cleaned up and end this video. And I hope you all enjoy your day. Bye.